At this dark hour in Israel's history, the South African Jewish community has mobilized to provide hope to those most affected by October 7th and the ongoing war with Hamas. Through a joint initiative between the JNF and the Base community, we have been able to provide respite and healing to returned hostages and hostage families in South Africa. Sapir Cohen and her brother Aviv, Noah Argamani, Moran Stella Yanai, Amos Horn and his family, Nissim, Ricardo and Adi Louk, and Amitsu Sana, all victims of the horrific attacks in Israel or captured on October 7th, have endured unimaginable suffering. While their captivity has left deep scars, their brief time in South Africa has provided a much-needed reprieve. In the warmth of this new community, they have found a space to rest, reflect, and begin healing. Yet even as they experience moments of peace, the ongoing conflict in Israel looms large in their minds. Their loved ones remain at risk, and their homeland remains engulfed in violence. Though physically free, the memories of their captivity continue to weigh heavily on them. Their future, like that of many others, remains uncertain. Nevertheless, this period of respite has brought them support, love, and strength from a community that stands in solidarity with them. They carry with them a deep sense of resilience and gratitude for the compassion they have received in South Africa. They are not merely survivors of conflict, but symbols of human endurance and hope. Our most recent guests on this program were Nissim, Ricardo, and Adi Louk, the parents and sister of Shani Louk, who was tragically murdered on October 7th at the Nova Festival. The image of her body being paraded around Gaza on the back of a pickup truck will forever be etched in our collective conscience. The Louk family traveled to South Africa for some much-needed rest and healing after an incredibly difficult 16 months. They have inspired us as a community to stand up for Israel in Shani's memory. This visit with the Louk family would not have been possible without the support and assistance from Partnership Together. The Louk family reside in our South African-Israeli Partnership region of Bet Shemesh in the Judean Mountains. Partnership Together is a project of the Jewish Agency that connects people to people, connecting communities across the globe to their partner communities in Israel, and has been doing so for more than 30 years. Our deepest gratitude goes to Partnership Together, the Jewish Agency, and the Israel Center for supporting this project.
Good evening, everyone, and we really want to thank you, the community, Saul, Ronit, the Base, the Israeli Embassy, הסוכנות היהודית, the JNF, קרן קיימת לישראל. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for inviting us to this beautiful place and to this amazing community. We really are enjoying our days, and especially we feel the love that comes from this community to us, to the people of Israel, and to ourselves. Before, talking about our Shani, I would like to tell you a story. Around 3,300 years ago, after all of our grandfather came together from Egypt, they came to Israel. And there was a war against the Philistines 3,300 years ago. The Philistines, Plishtim. And we lost. The people of Israel lost. And they thought, how can we lose? God is with us. The ark. Let's bring the ark. Go again into war. And of course, we will win. The ark is with us. So they went again into war, and they lost again. But this time, the people of Gaza and the Philistines that live in Ashkelon, Ashdod, Kiryat Gat, They stole the ark and took it there. Think how the people of Israel felt that time. When the ark is in Gaza somewhere, I'm sure they felt miserable. And today we still have 79 children in Gaza, still there in the tunnels. And I'm sure it's the same, you know. The ark is still in Gaza. Our kids are still in Gaza. And only when they will come back, as the ark came back, our heart will be complete, the heart of the Jewish people. My name is Nissim Louk, and my wife, Ricarda Louk, and my daughter, Adi Louk. And at home we have 2 more kids. Amit, which is a 20-year-old boy, is in the army, in the Air Force. And O, which is a 16-year-old, waiting for us. We are still traveling for 10 days. And now about Shani and what happened. We live in a beautiful place, and we saw it in one of the photos before, in the Judean Hills, in a moshav. Moshav is a community center. And when we open our doors, we are in the middle of a forest. And Shani, when she was a little child, and also Adi and Amit, they used to go into the forest and pick up flowers. I remember Shani going into the forest and coming back with flowers. Shani, where did you get the flowers from? From our neighbors. And used to. And it was amazing. This was the spirit of Shani. She was free, she was strong, and she did whatever she wanted. On the 7th of October, we wake up early in the morning, at around 6 o'clock, 6:20, when we heard in the sky like noise. I didn't understand exactly what that noise was, but it sounds like thunder, kind of, like you had yesterday here. And, the first thing that you want to know that your kids are safe, because we understood that these are not thunders, these are rockets that flew from Gaza towards Tel Aviv. And I knew that Shani was in Tel Aviv. So, as every father, what do? You make sure that your kids are safe. So, O was in the house, Amit was in the house, Adi was in the house, Ricky with me. Shani was not, so I told Adi, our girl, call Shani and tell her to go to a shelter room. Because whenever there are rockets, which is crazy, we go to a shelter room for like a couple of minutes until the rocket falls down. So I told Adi, call Shani and tell her to go to a safe room or to the staircase, it's safer there. She calls Shani, and Shani answered at 6:30 in the morning on Shabbat, on the day that we got the Torah, Yom Simchat Torah. And she says, I'm in the south. Yes, there are rockets here, and I'm heading towards Tel Aviv.
So, Shani, at the beginning we didn't worry too much because, as Nissim said, we have this routine. You have rockets, you go to a shelter, you wait 10 minutes, and you go back. But this morning was different because the rockets didn't stop. There were all the time rockets, and we hear them all the time. And then we started to worry. We called her multiple times, and she didn't answer her phone anymore. And then we suddenly, the kids said, hey, something is going on, and we turned on the television, which we usually don't do on Shabbat, and we saw all kinds of social media and videos of infiltrations, and it felt really surrealistic, not real. Maybe those are fake videos, I don't know, it doesn't seem, but something was going on, and we started to worry, and she didn't pick up her phone. So around 10:30 or something, my son, Amit, the older one, he suddenly started screaming and crying, and he got a video from a friend. That was this famous video where Shani was lying face down on the pickup truck with not much clothes on it, and 4 militant men above her. One was pushing her down with a leg, and they were driving towards Gaza. and we could see they were driving inside Gaza, and people were shouting and celebrating and spitting on her, and this is what the first thing my son saw, and then we all saw it, all my family members saw it, and we were shocked, it's like you can't believe it, you think you're in a horror movie or something. How can this be our little girl that is lying there driving into Gaza with those men? What's going on? You cannot understand it at the same moment, and we were really devastated and didn't know what to do at the beginning because the whole country was a chaos, and the Israeli army and the police, everybody was busy, nobody was really answering. And then we remembered that I have a German passport, and Shani also had a German passport. Where is that? And we said we were going to talk with the German embassy to help us with this. Do you want to continue?
Okay. Wife. After we saw, think as a father to see such a horrible picture that your little girl is lying in the back of a pickup like an animal. They threw her like an animal, and she's went into Gaza. It's a crazy thing, I don't want that any father will ever feel, like what I felt and what the people of Israel felt at that time, when they saw this picture. And I'm connected somehow to the police. I have a police badge, but I'm not a policeman. And I was really afraid that they will know that Shani is connected to me in some ways, because in the beginning, we were sure that she was alive. And I talked to my commander, and I told him, this and that happened, what do I do? And he said, hide. Don't let anyone see you. And I took Shani's passport from the cupboard, the German one. I put it on the table, and I said, from now on, this is Shani. Shani is German. And after 1936, 1945, to think that the chances for a German girl to come out of Gaza is much higher than the chances for an Israeli girl, And she's German, that converted, and Shani had the passport, and the best thing to do is to go to the Germans. She flew immediately to the German embassy in Germany, and I was hiding.
Want me to?
In the beginning, we thought that Shani was alive. There was no blood on this Toyota pickup. It was a white pickup. And if there is blood, there is a lot of blood. And there was no blood on this pickup. And I thought, maybe she's only wounded a little bit here and she's okay. She's alive. And through different connections, we sent a Palestinian man into Gaza to look for Shani. He went from hospital to hospital, and then he said, yeah, Shani is in Jabalia in a hospital. She's wounded. And I said, oh, good. First thing is, no blood on the Toyota. Second, he saw her. Third, we got some Mossad Shabak information that she was alive, because doctors talked to nurses. And the doctor asked the nurse, where is this German girl? And the nurse said, she's in our hospital. And they tried to take money from her credit card in Jabalia for 2 times. And we thought that she is alive. But the most important thing happened after this tragedy on the 8th of October. On the 8th of October, all the people in the world woke up in the morning. They don't know anything about the 7th of October. They opened the newspaper, in the morning in Europe, in America, in Ireland. Just before opening the newspaper, they see the main page. And on the main page, in all over the world, that day on the 8th of October, you saw Shani, beautiful. In the back, you see the Alps. beautiful. You know, she dressed white, she looks like an angel. With her long, beautiful, you know, curly, kind, blonde hair that she had, she really looked like an angel. And there was a small photo there when the terrorist takes her into Gaza on this pickup. And I remember, you know, like yesterday, it was written there, look at this barbarian, what they are doing to our German girl. Because everybody thought that she's German. You know, whenever you have problems and you don't know what to do, you call the rabbi. Rabbi, I don't know what to do. And the rabbi, what does he do? He opens the Bible. He goes to the 10 Commandments. And he tells you, you know, what to do and what not to do according to our spiritual and, you know, long history and the Bible that we have. Guys, this picture that shows, you know, Shani, beautiful on the main pages. And you see her kidnapped. Tells the world and us. In one picture, what is good and what is bad. In one picture. You see beauty and you see evil. You see the light and you see the darkness in one picture. You don't have to be so clever. Show it to your little kid that doesn't know anything about Palestine and nothing and tell him, what do you see? And said, look at this beautiful girl. Look what they are doing to her. And you know, this picture is a very strong picture in the world and to us. And it actually won a prize for being the best picture of the year last year. And this picture came to us, the Jewish people. Because whenever you have doubts about who you are, maybe we are the bad guys. I'm asking you guys. Maybe we are the bad guys and the Palestinians are the good guys. Maybe it's possible. Many people talk about it. The whole world say that we are the bad guys and they are the good guys. Maybe this is the truth. Look at the basic picture. Look at Shani and look what happened to her. This is the basic. We are the good guys. We are the truth. And they are the bad guys. And they are the evil ones. And this is light and this is darkness. And whenever we have doubt, we go to this picture.
So I wanted to go a little bit back. So I grew up in Germany. I was a Catholic Christian in Germany. I grew up until I was 21. And I remember that we learned all the time about Holocaust, all the time. Every year in high school, again and again and again. You know, as kids, we couldn't hear it even anymore. But Germany took it very seriously to teach always about what happened in Holocaust, and it will never happen again. And now I realized that after I converted to Judaism and I decided to move to Israel and live there, and I realized that my daughter was killed because she was Jewish. You know, I grew up like a German, but she was killed just because she was an Israeli and a Jewish person, which was difficult. And many German newspapers many times asked me, tell me, didn't you regret it going to Israel and going to converting and see what happened to your daughter? Why did you go there? Why did you live to Israel? And I said, no, I never regretted it any moment. And also now I don't regret going there. And I want to stay living there because I love Israel and I love the people. But it was a strange, ironic incident, really, that I'm also German. So in the meantime, in these 3 weeks that we didn't know if she was alive or that we believed really she was alive. And until you have a full proof, you will never give up on your child. Like you, even if there's a 1 chance that she's alive and 99% she's not alive, you will not stop fighting and you will not stop doing anything to get her out of there. So I really traveled a lot to Germany. I met with all the politicians and all the parties and all the medias that are possible there. and to publish the story to help us get Shani out of there. We got a lot of support there, but again, they didn't have really the power to help us. And then after 3 weeks, after very intensive time that we all the time talking on media, especially me, because he kept in the background because of what we said before, that we wanted to focus on German, on a German passport, and you're really exhausted in this time, and you fall asleep in the evening almost immediately, but every evening when you lie in your bed, you think about what's happening to Shani at the moment. We hear the bombing of Israel in Gaza. We're like 50 kilometers from there, and you hear the bombs all the time, again and again, and you know that your daughter is there. Maybe she's in a hospital, maybe she's in a tunnel, maybe they're doing something else to her. We never knew. So this was the worst time in our life, really, in this time, until after 3 weeks, they knocked at our door in the middle of the night, and it's never a good sign when the army knocks on your door in the middle of the night. And they came with a few social workers, and they told us, look, we know we have a finding that we have forensics that Shani died on the 7th of October. We found a piece of her skull on Israeli soil. And you cannot live without this. It can be taken out only by force, I don't know, a bullet or something, and she cannot be alive. So in this moment, at the first time, you feel like a little bit of relief, because you know, okay, she didn't suffer. She died in the first day. And it's strange, as a parent, how can we be relieved to get the message that our daughter is dead? But at the moment, at least, I knew she didn't suffer a lot. It happened early in the morning on the 7th of October. And she didn't experience all the humiliations in Gaza that we saw in the pickup and everything. But on the other side, it made it also definite, okay, she's not coming back. All our efforts bringing hostages back will not help, because she will not come back. Her soul is already somewhere else.
You know, when we knew that Shani is dead, what could we do? We got a little fragment from her inner skull, so we knew that she's dead. For me, you know, I went out from the darkness, I went to the media, and for me there was one thing that was very important. We knew that Shani's body now is in Gaza somewhere, but I didn't want that even one soldier will not risk his life to bring her body. It's not worth it. So I went to the news and I said, you know, I told the commanders, commanders, you should not send your soldiers to look for bodies. It's not worth it. And I said, you know, in the media, Shani, you're in Gaza. Your soul is in Gaza now. If you want to stay in Gaza, stay in Gaza. Nothing happened. Samson and Delilah, this love story is Gaza. David, Gaza. Shani, stay in Gaza. If you want to come back, you're welcome. And on her birthday, on her birthday, suddenly we get a call. We found the body. And I'll tell you the story. Brave soldiers, and you must know the Israelis are the best and the bravest ever. Ever. They made a hole in a building, a brand new building, a hole with a tank. It was a hole. We saw everything through the cameras that they had. And they went into a new building. All of the soldiers in Jabalia, brand new building, 2 floors, very beautiful, white, nothing inside, no furniture, nothing. Kitchen, few rooms. And one of the soldiers noticed that the whole building is empty, but there is a carpet on the floor. So he removed the carpet, and he found a little gate, a pier underneath. The soldiers, you know, brave soldiers, you cannot imagine how brave they are. You cannot imagine. We thought they are TikTok kids, because they used to play all day on social media. And then they came into Gaza and they were the strongest ever. And these kids, you know, went into the pier, 5 stories down, 5-story, 15 meters down. Everything is dark. There was a tunnel under the building. They went under the building, and there was nothing there, nothing. And just before, destroying the whole tunnel with explosive, one of the soldiers smelled something. He said, there is a strange smell here. Let's check the tunnel again. So they checked it again, and then they found a little room, which looked like a little bunker, covered with sand, with sacks of sand all over. And they smelled something, so they started removing the sacks, and they found 4 bodies. Shani, beautiful. Buskila, Amit Buskila, an amazing woman, and two more men. And for me to see how many praise they made, how many praise they did Kaddish, and they did, everything, and they lifted the bodies like it was the ark. And they did so many prayers, and they took them out, 15 meters in a ladder inside. And there was a plaque on the wall of that building. This building was donated by the German bank to UNRWA. And who is UNRWA? The United Nations. It was Friday, and the funeral was supposed to be on Sunday. They brought the body, and me and Ricky and the kids, million photographers from all over the world, because it was a big story, came to the funeral. And the president talked. Our president is a great man. He talked. And then my kid and Ricky and my sister, and then it was my turn. Now, what can I say? My daughter is lying just beside me in a coffin. But at that time, a beautiful girl comes that looked exactly like Shani. The same height, blonde, the same woman. And she said, please, can I talk? So I told her, what do you want to say? No, I have to say something. And all the journalists and the whole country was there because it's Shani. And she said, there was a time in my life, think about a beautiful 20-year-old girl. There was a time in my life that I felt, desperate. I didn't see future. I didn't have money. I was alone, no family. I didn't see that there is more into life. And she was lying in Tel Aviv on the floor. And then she says, in the funeral, she said, and then I see an angel coming. It was Shani. And Shani told her, why is such a beautiful girl lying like this on the floor? Hold my hand, stick to my light, and become part of my tribe. And I knew Shani. The parents, we know our kids, but not that. When she said that, hold my hand, stick to my light, and be part of my tribe, it's us. It's us. We have to hold the hands of everyone here. And the light should, come from you to save the world. Because you don't know how much darkness and evil there is in the world that is covering it. And you guys, you must bring the light. You yourselves. Take care of the lonely. Take care of the desperate people. Lit the light. with yourselves. And this is what Shani brought, to me and to you. Take her light, use it to change the world and to lick the darkness that we have. Because I'm telling you, and you can see it in the social media, the world is dying. And that's where we are. We are there, just to turn on a little bit of a candle so there will be some light. And each one of us have to do it. And if you go to social media and you see evil, you write down. You bring light into it. Because if not, I'm telling you, the world will be destroyed. And maybe the whole thing, of Shani and what happened to her is a purpose so the world won't be destroyed. And how can it not be destroyed? By the Jewish people. Is that the best?
I want to talk a little bit about Shani, how she was when she was young. So Shani was really the second in my family. As we said before, she was the sandwich girl, and she was very happy, lively girl when she was young, playing a lot with her siblings. They were making funny videos together and filming and painting a lot. And every morning she went to school, I wanted to dress her, and he said, no, I'm deciding what I'm going to dress. She knew exactly what she likes and what she doesn't like. She had her colors, and the whole year she was wearing the same colors, or only dress or only jeans. So she was very stubborn, had her own mind, very strong will when she was young. But she was very easygoing and fun, and when she reached the age of teenagers, it was starting to get a little bit more difficult because she was a little bit more rebellious than others. And, as a parent, you always want to get the best path for your children. Go and study, go and learn and study, and then you will have all the options, and you can choose the profession you want to be, and have money and don't have problems. And not every kid like this path that we offer them, and every child is different. So she was the one that she wanted a different path. She wanted like a zigzag path. No, I don't need math. I want to be an artist, and I want to do this and do that. So it wasn't always easy as a parent in this age, but we managed. She went to an artistic school, and she completed more or less school. And at the age of 18, she wanted to be independent. She moved to Tel Aviv, which was also very early. Like her whole life was very fast-paced. Like everything, she wanted this and that, and she was learning everything in YouTube on herself, and she was very eager to continue and be independent. She worked hard in Tel Aviv because Tel Aviv is very difficult to rent there. Everything is expensive, and we didn't want to give her just money to live there. We said, if you choose this path, you have to work hard and manage. And she worked as waitress, and she worked this, and she did dreadlocks for people, and she started learning about the tattoos because she wanted to be a tattoo artist. And she proved herself. It was difficult in that time, but, I knew her also as a parent. Every time something didn't work, or the doctor didn't come, and she can't get an appointment, or her credit card got lost, what do I do, and why is everything so complicated, and the bureaucracy. So she always called me crying, and that's what mothers do, I guess, for their daughters. And we didn't know so much this side, like what Nissim told us from her friends, the friends she made in Tel Aviv. She met many new friends, many new girls, and everyone was telling the similar story. He said, look, she put us together. Everybody was in a different situation. One had problem with a boyfriend, one with a family, and she always picked them up, brought them home, and was cooking for them. She liked to cook, but only if people are coming. She didn't like to cook for herself, only if her friends will come, and then she was making a big meal. And that was Shani. She had a very good heart. She always wanted to help the people in needs, and we weren't so much aware of this all the time because she was living in Tel Aviv at the time. So it was wonderful to hear all those stories after she was gone. So one more thing I wanted to say. So after we got the body, this was like 7 months after, during the whole time, we got constantly some feedbacks from the army. The army always told us, look, we know that she didn't die in the festival place. She did drive with her car, and she continued to drive another 15 kilometers. So she was really far away already from the Nova Festival. And there in the Mefalzim junction, it was a death trap really of the terrorists. So many people died in this junction, and they showed us each time a little piece of information, like a camera of a car that was on the side. And we saw Shani's car really driving to the junction, and they were throwing a grenade on the ground, and she saw it, and she made a quick U-turn and ran away the opposite direction. So each time they brought us a little piece of information, we were always eager to know a little bit what happened in her last moments. But each time, it opened our heart again, and the situation came up again. So the whole 7-8 months, it was a constantly, okay, we have some more information. Oh, we have another piece, we have another picture, we have another video. And we were waiting for them, and they come, and we show it, but it still hurts every time those things came up. And then after the 7 months, they told us that they found the body, and it was a big relief for us. I didn't expect the body to come back. I said, how can they keep the body there for so long, somewhere in the rubble in Gaza? So it was a big relief, and our children also felt it was good to have her back. At least we know her body is here. We have a grave stone where we can go to and where we can pray to. And it was very important, it was very important to get this closure, and we always said, okay, enough with this information. It was a long time that all the time these things came up, and we suffered from this.
As a father, to think that your daughter is in the tunnels there in Gaza can drive you crazy. Because you don't know what they're doing to her. 22 beautiful women, in Gaza. A father. Maybe they're raping her, torturing her. You don't know what happens there. And actually, when they told us that Shani died after 3 weeks, I was relieved with all the pain and the tragedy. Because it is painful, and I'm sure that all of you, on the 7th of October, it's like they chopped your arms. You were in the synagogue and you got information about Israel, our country, towns, Sderot, this. You thought, the world is crazy. I'm sure, all of you. I'm sure. I went into New York, and there were hundreds of people just praying from morning till night with names of hostages. And then I felt, the power of the Jewish people, that together we are one unit. In 1944, Second World War, the Germans and the Europeans nearly destroyed all of our parents. 1944. Let's think that we are at 1944, all of us. And there is a gate here, and we have to take our clothes off and going into the gas chambers. All of us, because we are Jewish, it happened already. And somebody tells us, yeah, you're going into the gas chambers here, but don't worry. It's 1944. In 4 years, you'll have your own country. What would you think? Is it possible? You probably thought that we are the only Jews that left in the world in 1944 because all of them died earlier. Your cousin, your uncles, and everybody died already. And maybe you're the last Jews in the world, and now you're going into the gas chamber, and maybe there will be no more Jews. But look at the miracle. 1944, 1948, we had our own country. You don't think this is a huge miracle which is impossible? Impossible. People were dying in 1944 in the chambers. In 1948, we had a country and we started fighting and we had weapons and we became strong. Is it possible? No. But it happened. So I'm telling you guys, after what happened to us on the 7th of October, we still cannot see the miracle that is coming. The miracle will come. And you will all see it in your own eyes. 100%. No way other. After the 7th of October, there really will be a huge miracle. And I'll tell you why. Why I know that. And it will happen. And we can see now the beginning of the miracle with Trump, I think. I hope he will succeed. You know, when Cain, it was actually the first one ever, after Adam and Eve. He killed his brother Hevel. And God asked Cain, where is your brother? And Cain said, I don't know. He just killed his brother, but he said, I don't know. So God said, the blood of your brother is calling me. No way. 2,300 kids dies, and the blood doesn't call. It will call. It's calling, and this will be the miracle that we will see in our lifetime. And you'll see that Israel will get so strong and so beautiful and so amazing that you, all of you, and your children will come and live in Israel, because this is your place. You know it by heart. I know it's very comfortable here. It's a beautiful place. The people are beautiful and amazing. With such a heart, you yourselves, you have, this is the spirit, this is the light. Saul, Ronit, and Rabbi, all of you guys, this is the spirit. Take the light, hold it and use it to do good. Of course, there are people that have some bad things in the past, but when you take the light and use it to do good things, all the bad things that happened in the past will be forgotten. Even if some of you have some sins, it will be gone if you take the light from Shani and use it. And take care of each other. There are lonely people in the community. There are father and mother and grandmother and grandson and that you didn't call to for like 500 years. And you forgot that they are there even. And you don't want to call them because you say, do it, this is the light. You know, stick it to your community. Study the Bible. This is the basic of the Jewish people. Study. Ask if you have any question. You have a rabbi. You have the best community ever.
Yeah, many times people ask me also, how do you continue living or how do you function after what happened to Shani? And, you know, sometimes I don't know really, because somehow you have the strength to go forward, and looking back will not help, right? We can't bring Shani back. So what's the point really getting stuck in the past? We want to remember her good moments. We want to remember her art. We want to remember her memories and look forward. I'm in general an optimistic person, and there's nothing else to do. We have family members, and we have to be there for our families and our kids and live on and spread her light. And also as a mother, I want to say, really hug your kids, spend time with your kids. You never know when it will be over. I mean, in our case, I'm happy that Shani had a very intensive life and she traveled a lot also when she was older, and she experienced a lot of things because of her decisions. So I'm happy actually that she managed to experience those things. My son once really said in one of the interviews, Amit, that there are people that live a flame, and they live the flame their whole life, and then when the flame goes out, they're old and they're gone. And she wasn't a flame, she was like a flashlight. She was very intense, and she had a very intense life, and I'm happy that she lived it her way and not our way maybe that we wanted. So look also at your children. Not every child is the same. Every child has different needs, different ideas, a different character, and be aware of it and respect it also, and go with it and enjoy with your kids as much as you can, with your grandparents, with anybody. And it's important to look at the positive things really in life and looking forward.
Shani's phone broke like 3 times in 1 month, which was not possible. It's an iPhone, a brand new one. And you know, God gave me the time until it went into the shop to fix it for 3 times. So I sat with her for a long time. And I asked her one time, you know, as a joke, we didn't know that things like that could happen. And I sat with her and I asked her, Shani, tell me, you know, when you go to dance, because these people are dancing, like David the king, dancing, they love to dance. And they go to dance like from 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the morning, like a death party. It's like a 12-hour dance. So I asked her, Shani, tell me, what is this dancing that you dance all night? So she said, Father, you'll never understand, of course. And I said, yeah, try me, you know. When I was young, I went dancing. I said, Father, you'll not understand the power of unity. When everybody danced together, all the friends, and there is so much love there, and sometimes probably some smokes, you know. But there is so much love, and from all the dancing and the love and the power and the rhythm and the sound and everything together, we come out of our bodies. That's what she said. And we are a little bit loose, and we touch with our fingers mitachat lekisei hakavod. This is high. So I told her as a joke, you know, be careful not to touch kisei hakavod, you'll burn your finger. That's what I told her. I didn't know. And I said, yeah, but, you know, you dance for 10 hours. What do you do? So she said, Father, when I'm dancing, I'm praying to God. And, you know, makes you feel good. At least she's there. I hope that none of you will ever, you know, feel the pain, but I'm sure you do. I'm sure that if I take all the pain that you felt when you saw what happened the 7th of October, it's even much bigger than my pain as a father after what happened, and to the pain of all the families that, you know, died. Soldiers, civilians, soldiers, my friend, you know, my friends, police officers, 59. Kids, beautiful babies, you know, these Hamas people will all go to hell, you know it. And we will see the miracle, the big miracle that I'm talking about. You will see it 100%. 100%. Guys, really thank you very much for, you know, bringing us to South Africa.
Thank you.